Welcome back to Whiskey with E. I'm Eric. Now today we are going to do something interesting. Alright, but before we get to the interesting part, we are going to recap on the two bottles that we have recently just reviewed. So I'm going to pour that up, and then we are going to do blending experiments part 3. We're going to make the third blend, using these two bottles. So we're going to see how that goes. But before we get into that, let's recap. Alrighty, so the first bottle we are going to pour up is the Woodford Reserve, the Masters Collection, the very fine rare bourbon. Buzzwords. Honestly, I don't know why a lot of people don't like this bottle. Honestly, maybe it's because of the price, maybe it's because of the proof. But honestly, if you like well-aged bourbon, if you like oakiness, but sweet aged oak, you're going to love this. Alright, poured up the first one. Alright, so Woodford Reserve poured. And now we have the Weller 12 that we recently just reviewed too. So, here we go. Oh my goodness, we're going to pour that. Oh my goodness, look how dirty that glass is. Don't judge me for the glass, guys. It's a functional bar. I didn't go wash the glasses before I started this video. Alrighties, Weller 12 poured. Now, let's compare the two. Look at the color difference. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see that? Alright. You might not be able to see. Alright, it might actually just look the same, alright guys? But honestly, the Woodford Reserve is a hint darker. It's a hint darker, alright? It's a hint darker. But let's give them both a nose, and we're going to recap on them, and then we'll get to the blending. Alrighties. My goodness, the Woodford Reserve. It is just that sweet oak. I mean, yes, the standard vanillas, the caramels and all that. But there is this fruity note in there, alright? I'm pretty sure it's like the apples and the apricot. To me, it reminds me of like a creamy layered cake, like a creme brulee, like a vanilla strawberry cake or something like that, wrapped in all this sweet oakiness that you could look at as sweet tobacco notes. That is Weller 12. Oh my goodness. Now, at first I thought the Weller 12 had some oakiness, alright? Compared to the Woodford Reserve, this is oaky. This is just became soft. It's like the Woodford Reserve is the steroided up version of the Weller 12. I know, wheated, non-wheated, rye in the mash bill, not rye in the mash bill. But honestly, very similar in those. It's just that this is just more doofed up. So all that, the fruity note is more prominent. The oaky note is more prominent. So the Weller 12, you're getting that apples. You're getting that apricot that kind of weaves in and becomes like this cherry, raspberry kind of note. But that is intermingled in with that vanilla and the caramel. You know, it's kind of weaving through this soft oak. You know what? I am digging the Woodford Reserve note a whole lot more now that I'm comparing it to the Weller 12. Yeah, it's like the vanilla, the caramel, it's more caramelized. It's like brown sugar caramelized. You are getting the apples as well, apricot as well. It's like a layered cake. like that vanilla-y, it's like a creamy, vanilla-y, caramelized cake of some sort. Honestly, don't know why everyone hates on this Woodford Reserve batch. Yeah, the Weller, it's almost like toned down compared to this. I mean, if color does say anything, you can already tell that this is going to be more darker, more oaky, just because of that slight darker caramelized color. See how this looks more yellow? I don't think you guys can see it, but I can see it. Anyways, the Woodford Reserve, let's go. Sweet oak, oaky beautifulness. It is just awesomeness. Now, oh my goodness. All right, the Weller 12. Here we go. More soft, guys. Yes, it's so similar, guys. It's just that the Woodford Reserve is like a steroided up version, even though they are very similar in proof. I mean, 45%, 90 proof. This is like 90 point 90.4. See, 45.2. See, so technically, it's just an extra 2 points higher than the Weller 12. That's why I need to compare this. It's good to compare things at the same kind of proof level, you know. Kind of like if you did a blind lineup of the Woodford Reserve batch and you lined it up against the batch proof, the barrel proof version, obviously they're going to stand out a lot more than this. You have to compare things with the same proof points. Now, how you drink your bourbon is going to influence the flavors as well. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. Now, when I gargle, all right, it's going to look really weird. It's going to sound really weird. But when I gargle it, you know, kind of like when you have mouthwash and you're, instead of spitting it out, you swallow it. It brings out more oak, all right? Let me give you an example. The Woodford Reserve. See? More of that sweet oakiness just all in the throat. It almost gives off an impression that it's more oaky, it's more of a longer finish. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. How many minutes are we in? 8 minutes. All right, now when you don't do that, and when you just, you know, maybe you just let it sit, you know, on top of your tongue, or maybe you splush it around in your mouth for a bit before you swallow. Either. If you're not gargling, it's going to be a whole lot less oak. All right, so let me show you what I mean. Yeah, it's more soft, smooth, approachable. Oh my goodness, I just had to say the S-bomb. You guys are going to hate me, but honestly, I'm going to put it out there. Try gargle your bourbon and let me know if you get more oak from these expressions. I mean, if you have this batch, or if you have something that you feel is oaky, or even just try it with any kind of bourbon. See if you get more flavors by gargling it in your throat, all right? Rather than just, you know, letting it roll over your tongue or sitting it on top of your tongue for a bit. Anyways, let's try it with the Weller 12 as well. See, more oaky, but obviously not as oaky as the Woodford Reserve. it almost gives off an impression that the finish is longer, all right, guys, compared to just swallowing it, all right? Now, when I swallow it, it's just smooth. I said it, approachable, non-offensive. It just feels like it just rolls in and it just finishes a lot more. I guess you're gonna like this if you don't want anything that's gonna sting or burn or all of that. This is a really approachable bourbon, all right? It's probably the wheat in it that makes it so approachable. All right, to the blend. Alrighty, so for all those that don't know, we have here alright, so pretty much this glass here was holding some of the Lagavulin 2022 cast strength special release. I let it soak. I've been sipping, I've been pouring it out. I've been sipping it, because it's just so lovely with the extraness. But there is still some in there, so we're leaving that in there. So pretty much it's kind of like a wet cast that has just been emptied. Keep in mind, this is home experimenting. We don't have oak barrels to experiment with, so we are doing this. Alrighty, so I am going to do a half-half blend. So this is now batch 3, experimenting blends with the finishing of the red gum wood that was charred a bit. Alrighty. I thought I had the pieces of wood somewhere, but I must have just misplaced it now. Alrighty, so here we go. The Woodford Reserve. Here we go. Is that half? That's pretty half-ish. I mean, I don't want to... New Year's resolution. Trying to not, bottle kill bottles or just use the rest of the bottles, just blending it out. So we're going to sit that back on the shelf. Alrighty, so halfway pretty much to this label, to this line. Now we're going to grab some of the Weller 12. Alrighty, Weller 12. So this is just a 2-part blend. This makes it less complicated, more easy to remember. But keep in mind, I am a bit of a proof hound. So to bring up the proof, we can add in something that is more barrel proof, like a Booker's or a rare breed. And that would definitely bring out the flavors a whole lot more. Alrighties. Alrighties. Now that that is poured in there, we are going to let that sit. We are going to let that do its thing. Alrighties. I'm probably going to use this cork. Now this here is the same red gum, Australian red gum wood, but we have that port in there soaking. So I am going to use this as well to eventually maybe give it some of that port flavors. But like, comment, subscribe, tune in the future. We're going to see how this tastes. But for now, we're going to let that sit, let that mingle, let that do its thing. So let's just say blending experiments part 3, the Woodford Reserve 2020 batch series 16, very fine, very rare, buzzwords, mixed with the Weller 12. We're going to let that sit now. Alrighties. And this, we're just going to... There you go. I have no cork. That is the only awesome cork that I have. But we will sit that like that. And we will let that age for some time. But anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you do these experimenting. Do you enjoy making home blends? I highly recommend you get some oak wood chips and you try soak it in some port or cherry or something.